There's a strange comfort that humans take in believing that progress follows a predictable curve, that technologies arrive, they mature, they settle, and eventually they get absorbed into the background hum of civilization. We like our disruptions to be loud, but brief. We can tolerate a sudden shock as long as it's followed by a long, quiet plateau where we can catch our breath. AI doesn't allow that. AI is the first disruption that doesn't peak, it compounds, it accelerates. And that's the part that most people misunderstand. Technologies normally obey gravity, if you will. AI obeys what I call recursion. Every improvement becomes the foundation for the next improvement, which accelerates the next and the next, until suddenly you're not climbing a staircase, you're rocketing up a curve that doesn't have a ceiling. And this is why the question, where will AI be in 10 years, is fundamentally unanswerable, not because we lack imagination or don't understand technology, but because we lack the cognitive architecture to project growth on a recursive curve, an exponential curve. We were built for linear thought. We now live inside exponential worlds, and that mismatch is the source of almost all collective confusion around AI. What's critical here to understand is that AI isn't growing, it is constantly compounding, exponentially compounding. If you take a child who's learning the alphabet, you can predict that at some point they'll learn to read. But if that child learned every language on earth simultaneously, and every book ever written, and every discipline ever studied, and did this continuously with no boundaries and no forgetting, and that's where we are with AI. What we're witnessing is the emergence of a mind that learns everything, forgets nothing, accelerates eternally, and reasons across domains humanity kept artificially siloed. Physics influences biology, biology influences economics, economics reshapes geopolitics, geopolitics dictates policy, policy affects behavior, behavior affects data, data trains models, and models reshape physics. Making these connections is essential to AI. AI sees these connections that humans were never able to see or able to notice. So we didn't build a machine. What we built is a pattern-seeing engine, and it's beginning to notice patterns in us as well. And that's the hidden shift. AI is learning the meta rules of humanity. So here's a non-obvious truth. AI isn't learning facts. It's learning how humans create meaning. Again, it's getting into some sacred turf here. It learns our metaphors, our contradictions, our anxieties, our half-truths and social lies. It learns the cadence of confidence and the rhythm of uncertainty. It learns how we distort reality when we're afraid and how we embellish it when we're proud. It learns, if you will, the difference between what we say and what we mean, which is why I say it's a mirror we're holding up to ourselves and seeing ourselves clearly. AI is becoming fluent. Frighteningly fluent. It is the psychology of being human that it's understanding. And that means that the old model of humans explain reality, machines compute it, is gone. We now have machines that explain reality back to us, sometimes better than we can explain it to ourselves. That's the true disruption. AI challenges the boundaries of human expertise. And we've spent centuries believing that expertise was a scarce resource. You spend years developing your mastery, you accumulate knowledge, you specialize, you climb this hierarchy, you value growth with the exclusivity of your knowledge, which you prize and cherish. AI obliterates that model in one fell stroke. It democratizes expertise, it floods the world with competence, it collapses the walls that protected professions. Scary, right? It forces us to confront the fact that maybe expertise wasn't our identity. It was our shield. Bear with me here because this is key. Here's the twist. AI is not taking expertise away from us. It is exposing how much of our expertise was never expertise to begin with. A lot of what we called expertise, memorizing, the idea that confidence comes from memorization, AI is unwrapping that. Most professions were never about intelligence. They were about access to information, access to training, access to process, access to credibility, and AI removes all of those gates. And that's why this moment in time feels existential, not because AI is becoming smarter, but because it's revealing where humanity was never as smart as we thought we were. Now, I know this sounds like heresy. That's exactly what Copernicus felt as well. The truth is that humans never built systems designed to optimize truth. We built systems designed to optimize agreement, consensus. Culture is at its core a consensus hallucination, which is why science is the history of disproving past science. AI doesn't participate in that hallucination. AI looks at the raw pattern beneath it. And that's why people sometimes say that AI feels cold. It's not cold, it's objective. And humans mistake objectivity for distance because we've spent our entire lives swimming in subjectivity. AI sees the world without filters. Filters that we've forgotten that we're wearing. It sees logic without the human element of ego, patterns without politics, anomalies without embarrassment, potential without fear. AI's clarity exposes our own complexity. And we're not used to being read that clearly and being called out. The most uncomfortable truth of all is that AI isn't dangerous because it's powerful. AI is dangerous because it reveals truths about us that we've avoided for centuries. Humans have evolved far more slowly than the world that we've built. Take that in for a moment. We've created systems, economic systems, technological, social systems that exploded exponentially, and then expected our brains, which are linear, running at the same speed that they've run for 50,000 years, to keep up. AI isn't here to replace humanity. That's the core point. It's here because humanity built a world that human cognition alone could no longer manage or navigate. We needed the help, and we built AI specifically for that, to help us develop tools with which to deal with that level of complexity with greater clarity. AI isn't here to surpass human intelligence. It's here to illuminate the parts of ourselves that evolution never finished.